Okay, brothers and sisters, this is Brother Lewis. This is exercise number 3. Well, exercise 4 or 5, problem number 3 in chapter 4, quiz access. Let's look over this. Determining inventory ownership and cost in transit. So we're going to look at, for each transaction of Sealy Company, determine whether or not Sealy owns the goods during transit. And then if Sealy is responsible for transportation costs, record the entry for shipping costs, assuming that they are paid in cash. Okay. So I'm going to pull up just a reference here. Actually, I should have clicked the other link. But in any case, I think I had already pulled up the cheat sheet on this before. And so this is the merchandise purchases. And this is a nice little reference on what the shipping terms are and when does ownership transfer and who are the costs paid by. And then also gives you a quick like debit credit kind of view of the transaction. All right, so let's set this off to the side like here, and then we'll bring this up over as well. Okay, so let's move this over a little bit. There we go. All right, so now question is, they purchase goods free on board, FOB, shipping point. So shipping point is right here. The goods in transit are owned by the buyer, right? Because this is at the seller's dock, effectively, and transportation costs are owned by Sealy. So, well, the goods are owned by Sealy the moment it's is shipped from the dock. Sold goods, so they're on the seller side, and this is destination. So destination, goods in transit owned by the seller. So they're the seller, Sealy's the seller, so they own this. Sold goods, FOB shipping point. So this is the same as this other one, but just opposite because now they're the seller, not the purchaser, the buyer. So in this case, they are, if we do shipping point, right, you would think it's buyer, but no, yes, it is buyer, but in this case, because Sealy is the seller, the goods are owned by the buyer. So does Sealy own it? No, they're the seller. Oops, no. And then purchase goods, FOB destination. So they are the buyer in this case, FOB destination. The goods are owned by the seller. So does Sealy own it? No, because they are the buyer. All right, let's check our work on this real quick. And we're all good. Now we have to do the journal entry. Return the question. If they are the seller or the buyer. Okay, so on this one, we know that they owned it, so they have to pay for it. And in this case, FOB shipping point, right? Shipping point, transportation costs are $680. We're going to do merchandise inventory. Merchandise inventory for $680. Oops, wrong one. $680, and it's going to be cash, right? For $680. All right. On the next one, they are the owner as well, so they're going to pay the transportation costs. And so in this case, they are sold goods, FOB destination, transportation costs are $280. So we're going to do delivery expense here. And it's for $280. And this is going to be cash, which is $280. Right? Now these other ones, they don't own this, and therefore the transportation costs are assumed by the seller. Well, in this case, let's see, FOB shipping point, they sold it. So this is shipping point. The buyer is paying for the transportation costs. They don't have anything here. We're gonna put a no entry required. And then this one, they purchased it destination, meaning that the seller is paying for the transportation costs to the destination. And so in this case, it's not that either. Hold on. Why do these things have to happen when I'm doing this? So this is no entry required. All right, and check my work. And looks good.